Welcome to the Everything Anime podcast where we talk about favorite animes, old and new, it doesn't matter. We like all animes here. Sit back and relax. In this hellish world, a man has got to do something to break up the loneliness in their soul. The harsh reality of society just makes a man feel devoid of any human desires. He becomes a robot servant. Every person has a deep, dark desire that might be considered unhealthy in the eyes of society. They have a yearning to have some sort of stimulation that can make them feel alive. There is such a man who is the embodiment of what social media likes to empower. Autism! No. The other thing. Finding comfort in your unhealthy desires. Moguro Fukuzo, your ordinary laughing salesman. Imagine you're some down on his luck kid going through school, or you're a wife looking for a little bit of spice in her love life, or you're an old man who's looking at the years gone by and wishing that you could relive them. So many desires, so very little time. Well, don't worry. That sly salesman is here to take all your desires and make them become a reality. Oh, don't worry about the price. He does it all for free, mind you. So don't worry your little bank account. All of the victims that Moguro Fukuzo handles are very realistic, so the viewer should have no problem relating to them. Anxieties, dreams, desires, and relationships are all part of any human being's imagination, and when our expectations get crushed, we tend to make do with whatever is left over. Walking home from a dead-end job tends to drain the optimism out of one's perspective. Many face that their life has finally reached the peak, and it's all downhill from there. This is a result of not balancing the work ethic with your own personal life. The work ethic in many countries can drain people, and in Japan this is definitely the case, as theirs focus solely on the idea that an employee should focus on work while on the clock. No one should talk about their personal lives, or look at their social medias, or play around on their phone, but maximize the productivity for their companies. They are a cog in a never-ending machine. This isn't to say that Japan's work ethic is not admirable, but it is, really. The problem is that many people who get into this work ethic lose sight of what their dreams and desires are. They lose sight of their own personal life, and it just drains them. Many would take the opportunity to jump at the salesman's chances to offer something for free, their dreams, their desires, and all he gets out of it is his own satisfaction. Supposedly, satisfaction is all he gets. It really does seem like that would be the end of the salesman's deal, and to a certain extent, it does work out in the customer's favor. There is not a certain demographic that he targets. All are free to have their desires to come to life and indulge in them. They start to feel that emotional satisfaction that left them when becoming entrenched in a work life. However, Mr. Fukuzo requests that the customer should follow a simple rule so they don't ruin their own fun. Break that rule and Fukuzo cannot guarantee whatever happens next to his customer. Unfortunately, human curiosity and temptation get the better of his customers when trying to stick to the rules. In fact, their indulgence in their desires becomes so extreme that all it takes is a little temptation from the salesman or themselves to void the terms of Mr. Fukuzo's deal. And it is from the time that they void the salesman's deal, everything begins to go awry. And when all seems strange, that's when the salesman appears again. No matter the time period, there is always something that the human heart will desire even in the midst of plenty. Moguro Fukuzo himself does not force them with any underhanded tactics nor threaten them. Most of the victims' mistakes are committed by their own hands. The only thing that the laughing salesman does is persuade them with that silver tongue of his to give in to their desires and remove the hesitancy from their hearts. Throughout these episodes, every customer looks for loopholes that try to exploit the salesman's trust. Their punishments are a result of their own folly, which is a shame as they were leading positive lives. Here I was going to show a couple of examples and talk over them, but I think I'll just let the examples speak for themselves. They're pretty funny.
あら、これ、なんなの？やめて
何をする？うまいうまい、最高の朝飯だよ。いや、ほんと君と結婚してよかったな。
いやー、君だなんて他人行儀の呼び方やめて。お願い、お前って呼んでちょうだい。
愛してるよ、お前。
I'll still never get over that one. That one's good.
戻ってきて、お願いよ。ねえ、ください。掃除して、料理作って、トイレきれいにしてください。
Dark comedy is always making light, as ironic as that sounds, of something that is taboo and particularly sensitive in nature. Many of the topics in this series are very sensitive in nature, as they do poke fun at humanity's melancholy in day-to-day living. When a person takes life too seriously, it really does become draining to get stuck in a rhythm. Most of the time, dark humor is a coping mechanism in a world that is already broken, and with a world that is full of humans that live in their own filth, it makes sense to joke about such grave matters. It forces someone to see new perspectives that aren't generally viewed in a positive manner. Losing your home, becoming a perverted old man, or finding out that someone's wife is not really a woman, but a man in a dress. I'll really never get over that one. Are all taboo to poke fun at, but are commonly joked about on a daily basis in the real world. The Laughing Salesman does really solidify the gravity and the silliness of each victim, let alone the reality of our own world. Although it may seem morbid, this series does really bring a little bit of laughter to a world that's already dark enough. The Laughing Salesman is a hidden gem, and those who watch it tend to be divided on the actions taken by Mr. Fukuso. It's not meant to be a happy slice of life anime that wants the viewer to sympathize or enjoy what the protagonist does through each episode. Each main character wants a way to live out whatever desires they feel, and because they have no control or simply forgot, each customer is damned to a bad punishment. Although a little exaggerated, each situation is possible in a world like ours, which is full of people looking to get their kicks. Gambling, love lives, success in life, and so on lead to men and women looking for shortcuts to achieve these goals. Humans don't care who they have to step on, kill, or sacrifice in order to get what they want. Each episode shows how simplistic people can be when getting what they want in life. It makes for a good dark comedy to see people fall victim to their own desires and watch it blow up in their face. The viewer can be entertained with the knowledge that bad fortune has not yet plagued their own lives. There currently exist two versions of this show, one that began in 1989 and ended in 1992, and then there's the one that started in 2017 and ended in 2017. Both are very good iterations of the manga source. I actually do recommend the older version of The Laughing Salesman because it has a very good hand-drawn style and it has very good fluidity in the animation. Nothing can beat hand-drawn animation, not even digital. The 2017 series is a good attempt at trying to revive enthusiasm for the series as a whole. But the problem with the 2017 series is that it reuses episodes from the older series and retells them in a current digital animation. Not only that, the problem is that the voice actor by this time had already passed away, and his successor, bless his heart, tried to fill the role of a voice actor who had a very deep voice. If you compare the two versions, 1992 versus 2017, you could see that the Laughing Salesman almost sounds different, almost lighter in the 2017, whereas the 1998 to 1992 version was way deep, almost like he was menacing. Don't get me wrong, The Laughing Salesman is a unique, episodic manga and anime that originated from Japan, in a country basically that has a love of plot-driven story arcs and isekais at the moment, because they really do love their isekais at the moment. But I do believe 10 minutes is very short for an anime of this magnitude. For example, I believe that most of these stories could be drawn out into 30-minute episodes, just following one victim that Moguro Fukuzo tells throughout the whole episode, warning them to not do this, or giving them a rule or stipulation that tells them not to use an item or don't do a certain action. I believe that 10 minutes is not enough for all of that to digest in the viewer's mind. It could have taken a page out of the 2017 anime, although this is retroactively. It could have done something similar to the 2017 anime, where it could have stuffed 2 episodes into one 30-minute block. But I don't know how the rules work over in Japan, so this could be a null point anyway. Another con of this 10-minute block episode deal is the fact that it feels like details are being left out. It feels like the story progression is on fast forward. It doesn't really feel like it's building up to anything. It's always fast forward for action pace and everything, up to the point that Moguro Fukuzo punishes the customer for whatever they did wrong in the first place. It feels like it's always on fast forward.
それじゃあまたいつか必ずお会いしましょう。おー